Hey you guys, it's Jeremy
And Shai.
and we are here to present to you the findings of the LGO hedge fund analysis. So let's get right into it. So to recap the impact of our model, the year-over-year on average return of a stock market has been 7%. And we're betting our retirement plans on it. Piotrowski showed in a 2002 paper that over 20 years of historic data, investing in high book-to-market stocks could result in a 23% year-over-year return. Why else did we choose Piotrowski's model? It's because of its interpretable factors. Only 9 factors go into this model. 2, it finds undervalued companies based on public financial data. And 3, it's underutilized in the market. We could not find a real-life mutual fund or hedge fund that's using this F-score as a predictor. And remember, the higher the F-scores, the higher the return. Buy the stock. The low F-scores, the lower the return. You want to short the stock. So here's the details of the F-score, and they're broken down into 3 different buckets: profitability, leverage, and operating efficiency. The 9 categories within each bucket are graded with a score of 0 or 1, so binary variables based on annual financial performance of the company.
Moving on to the architecture overview. Once we have the F-score calculated, we wanted to do something with it. Like the F-score, our architecture can be broken up into 3 simple buckets: the user interface, the database, and the analysis. For the user interface, we set up an HTML website template from the site BizGroup, as well as used high charts for the visualizations of our analysis. The database comprised out of 5,100 observations throughout 11 years, which gave us a significant amount of data points to work with. And for the analysis, we actually worked our tails off to interpret the data, take the inputs from the forms of the user interface, run all that through our models, and use that to present on the user interface in a fashionable way.
From the architecture, we wanted to talk a little bit more about the data mining techniques. So acquiring the data was fairly easy. Organizing the data was anything but easy. We started with a database called CompuStat, which provides all the detailed information on public companies' financial records. We also grabbed company stock market returns from CRISP, which is another database of public information. There's a lot of missing data out there on every company that we found, and we wanted to exclude that missing data from our analysis. So we set up an algorithm and a process to actually clean up the data. Once we got this clean data, we then moved on to calculating the F-score and the ratios that went into it. From each calculated F-score, we linked that F-score to a relative stock performance and a return on that annual score.
So at this point, we have our F-score calculated. We have our yearly returns. We want to show the link between them now. Our analysis included splitting up the database based on the size of the firms, splitting up the data between low and high F-scores, and then running it through a gauntlet of analysis tools: linear regression and clustering in JavaScript. A handful of techniques we used on R. And in addition, we also broke down the data sets into tests and training values of the set in order to validate our conclusions.
So what happened after all this analysis? Well, you could say results were bleak, but definitely still worth talking about. With an R squared on our test set of 0.03, our F-score showed extremely little correlation to returns. We also found that when we clustered groups of similar F-scores, we were met with a variety of results. The high F-score companies had similar performance to the low F-score companies, and when we split up for size and market cap, the results were the same. You couldn't tell the difference between high and low market cap. So, as we identified in our original risks of the project, we could not reproduce Piotrowski's results on a 23% year-over-year return. In fact, to add insult to injury, investing in high F-score companies returned lower results than the low F-score companies, which is exactly the opposite of what we wanted to see. In addition, we found no predictive power for cart or random forest that we ran in R.
It's unfortunate, but we believe we know what happened. The S&P 500 is made up of the 500 largest firms in the US market. These companies are mature and their stock prices is less dependent on the yearly financial results. Piotrowski actually noted this in a footnote that the F-score is less significant for the high market cap firms. Unfortunately, we found the footnote only after building the database. But now the path is clear from here. And that is using the platform we built on a new set of data made up of the small and medium-sized companies.
Alright, so although we didn't get the results that we had hoped for, this project was not a failure. We still learned a ton.
We scrubbed and cleaned data.
We built a slick user interface.
We were able to boil down a large amount of data into a single F-score that we could use.
And we were able to interpret that F-score in JavaScript.
It was a worthwhile project, regardless of the fact that we didn't make our first billion.
Yet. Signing off for the LGO Hedge Fund, I'm Jeremy.
I'm Shai.
See you later.